Good morning, Risk Raider fans, Red Raider fans, and anyone else, and especially those of you who are watching our show, because we appreciate you guys watching our show. We love doing the show, and our guns are always up here.
Oh, I did it. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah, you get the thumb action that matters.
Thumb action. I like that.
Yeah,
Oh, that's even more complicated. Try to do that at home.
Because especially when you're looking at it on the screen, it's kind of complex. But it's a high-level concept.
Don't you know everybody hates the opening of this show? They're like,
what are they talking about?
Get to the point. Put your fingers
the thing
down.
They don't realize is we're over-caffeinated and we're excited in the morning because we're wide awake.
Yeah.
Old people like us are wide awake in the morning, right?
Yes,
and then later in the day, not so much.
Not so much.
Now, had 5 cups of coffee and I am on fire.
Bam. Well, I'm glad to be here too there, Mr. Borgstad. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a show about something very important. So just tune in for just a second. Hey, listen, if we do get into insurance, remember that it's not about advice. It's just going to be for fun. So if you need insurance, call your agent, talk to your own lawyer, accountant. I don't know if we're going to slip into that world today. We might a little bit, but we're not giving you advice. We're having some fun. That was the disclaimer. It felt really good. But today, I always get in trouble. I don't know about you. I get in trouble at home. A lot.
Trouble, dude. Are you kidding?
I get in a lot of trouble at home because I get told this line a lot. You worry about a bunch of stuff that's probably not going to happen, right? I mean, I don't know if you always said it's the risk manager in both of us. I get it. I think there's some truth to that, but I hear it from family. I'll hear it from other kids. Like if anybody's talking, if you're serving on a board and these people have a great idea and they look at you and I, and we're like, and they're like, oh, no.
No handrails there.
No, let's wait for them to go to the bathroom before we roll
Somebody's
this out.
Somebody's going to fall.
Yeah. We're going to worry about that. The alien could come out and evaporate a child with a water pistol. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I always say that. You've heard that phrase. It was an advertising that said a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Well, a risk management mind is a terrible place to live because you're always thinking about, worst. Remember the word I invented, sizing, right? You're always like,
word.
Oh man, what's good? There's no handrail on that thing. Someone could fall off, and your whole day you're walking around going, oh, look over there. They don't have handrails. Or, oh, that rug right there is going to trip someone. And people are like, dude, shut
up. Yeah, so here's what's going to happen today, everybody. As you know, Risk Raiders, we're starting to change a little bit of our format. We're going to have a lot more guests coming on. We've got guests scheduled for the next 2 weeks. And pretty much every show from here on out, there's going to be more guests than there's going to be us.
Yeah, more guests.
So today, and we're going to learn from a lot of those guests. And you're going to love them because they're just going to be great individual successful people. It's not going to really be so risky insurance in the way you're going to expect. So I think you're going to love this. We're excited. We're going to just have great people on. So today, Brent and I are going to do therapy on ourselves because we have figured out that we have a problem. And our problem is that we're basically getting ulcers about everything.
Right.
It doesn't matter
about stuff. Haven't you heard people say, like on their deathbed, they were like, man, I worried about a bunch of stuff that never happened.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'll tell a story pretty soon someday about with my mother. It was just a testimony to that of the last days of her life for somebody who worried completely. And I'm just going to tell you, I've learned some lessons. We'll hit into that on another episode we'll talk about, but it is true. But you know what? You got to get a grip on this stuff. And it's a big deal because if you think about it, it's not just your insurance stuff, because we'll step away from that. Media, everything that's on there, the whole thing is if they can either get you to laugh or get you to be afraid of something, you're going to buy something. You're going to respond a certain way. You're going to change your habit. And, we're not here to tell you that things we're going to laugh about today are not important, but it's about a perspective, because if you get this out of whack, I'm just going to tell you, you drive the people around you crazy. I'm just going to tell you, as somebody who does it, and you might not know that you're that person, but I'm going to tell you, you're driving people crazy. And honestly, they probably don't like you. Because
you do have to consider the risks and things, but don't throw a wet blanket over everything. That's what I've tried. That's my new personal mantra. I'm trying not to be that guy, and it's hard because that's what we do for a living.
Give us that phrase again. Give us the little one-liner we should be using on a clip. Go.
Don't throw a wet blanket over everything.
Yeah, don't be the guy throwing the wet blanket. Don't be the downer. Don't be the person,
Yeah, don't
like
be
you
that. Don't be
said.
catastrophizing all the time.
That's right. You cannot walk around waiting for your shorts to catch on fire all the time.
Or the alien to come down
The
and
alien to
vaporize
come
you.
down, or you're waiting for the next whatever it is. It's because let me tell you what, there's always going to be some a-hole out there that's going to
Yeah,
tell you it's coming. It's
yeah.
coming for you, and you better. I'm just going to tell you, man, you got to cut it out. I'm speaking to myself. I'm speaking to Brent because we've spent some time on the back porches with a little beverage talking about all the stupid crap we worry about. And so we figured that there's some of you out there who might be sick too. And those of you who have been in this insurance business, you're probably a little sick too, but just normally this is going on. So we pulled up some funny stuff. I thought it was very interesting. And so I know it's true because it's on AI.
Well, I loved your list you sent to me last night, and I was like, oh man, this is good stuff. And I call it the penny wise and pound foolish list of risk management because I think people tend to obsess about small purchases and then make mistakes with big money transactions. And the same thing here. We worry about a shark bite
Right.
when we really should be worried about what we're eating causing us to have heart disease. In other words,
Yeah, I mean,
in other words, you're not looking at the right thing. You're not
no,
looking at the thing most likely to kill you.
that's
It
right.
ain't a shark.
That's right. You're like, so this, what are these stats? I love it. So we're gonna talk about shark attacks for just a second as an example, because I think it's funny because if you pay attention, now listen, if you're like an ocean mariner and you're watching this
Surfer.
show, you're not going to like what we're going to say. You're going to be pissed and it's all right. But you have to remember, we're just two doofs. So don't start sending, well, you can, because we have people who'll laugh at you if you put them in the comments. So go ahead and
Yeah.
send it. But don't start undoing what I'm going to do here because I don't care. And I'm not claiming to be a shark expert. This is just a theoretical thing. You blame it on AI, right? So we're going to take the dramatic shark bite, right? Because it's going to happen. I mean, we already know every season it's coming, right? Because we've got Memorial Day coming. And then people, by God.
What's the 50th anniversary of Jaws?
Yeah.
Right.
And
so
people,
it's on people's minds.
We have people in this country who are audacious enough to think that they can take their body down to a beach and get in the water and enjoy themselves. And that should not happen. So you're going to see from here on out, starting in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see the videos, about the sharks. I think that the great white is now moving towards, it's in Panama now.
Well, they put up news about it. They're like, oh, they saw a 48-foot great white shark off of Nantucket.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
And they don't realize that was actually me surfing under the water. Leave me alone. No, they should. And then they have the monitors, and now we have the drones.
Yeah, they're tagged. Most of the big sharks are tagged.
And now all of a sudden, if you see a seal, you got to get out of the water, because if you see a seal, there's going to be a shark.
Yeah.
And then that means you're next. It's just.
Yeah, he's going to eat the seal and then you. Although I think he'd be full after
all
the
the
seal.
time. And then, man, if you ever do have a nick or so, and I'm not downplaying anybody who's been tagged, eaten, or killed by a shark. We're gonna put it in perspective, because the people on everything, we can all be controlled by things that can get out of hand. Be reasonable, but don't get out of hand. So one of these things we found out, right? So I'm just going to pull this up, was AI, which you can blame AI. And it pulled some of this stuff from one of the resources is the Discovery Channel. That's going to piss somebody off. Shark Week. Yeah. So some of this came, I don't know where. I'm not going to look it up because I don't care. Oh, and then it has the ABC News article, Shark versus Cow. That was a good show.
Like the cow waded out into the water and got attacked by a shark?
Oh, I know.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what we're about to find out. So, Brent, if I'm going to lead this off to you, read the stat off of how many, on average.
It says here, if your statistics are right, that 1 American and 5 people worldwide are killed by sharks every year.
So 1 American equals 200,000 other people. Is that what they're saying? Why would they break that out?
I think they're just saying worldwide there's 5 per year. And
on
America,
average,
there's 1.
On average. 1 American, 5 per year. Now, if you take that stat and you apply it to the media and now everybody's going to say the reason why it's so low, Jeff, is because of all the shows and all the warnings that we put out.
Warnings. Yeah.
What we've doing our
People are
job.
being cognizant of it.
Yeah, we're doing our job. We've made it all safer. Then why are we still talking about it 24/7? Okay. But anyway, so we've got one American, 5 worldwide. So we're going to say, what is that? 6 people on average get wiped out by a shark in the world.
Out of how many people in the world? Is it like
10,000? I don't know.
No, I'm saying there's in the
In the
global
world,
population. Is it
I was
60
joking.
million? I don't even know. I don't even know what the number is. There's
I
a lot.
think statistically it's a lot. So we'll leave it at that.
But still, you're talking about something that's your risk chances are like 0.00001.
Like, why am I worrying about it? Okay, so
Oh, that's not really risky.
So we're going to focus on American data not because we're Americans, but just because it looks like that most of this report does. Brent, how many Americans are killed by cows every year?
Says 22 right here.
22.
And I'm going to tell you something. If you've ever, my grandparents had a farm, and I can tell you cows are dangerous, and they're not intentionally dangerous or not mean, but they're heavy and they're big, and they don't care if they step on you or kick you or whatever they got to do to get by. And yeah, I'm not surprised at that number. And it's right below it. It says horses kill 20. I would say the same thing, but probably horses. There's probably got to be some of that where people are falling off of them.
Exactly.
They're pretty high up in the air.
And I'm pretty hoping that we're going to start out here at Risk Raiders is going to start a new show pretty soon that we're going to be calling it Cow Week. It will be coming on because there's a better chance of you running into a cow and the
dying.
horse and die than to be eaten by a shark. But we're going to try to bring that out. I think this next number here, this one doesn't surprise me. But we don't hear about it a lot here in the U.S. And we'll have an episode on this about 2 times in the summertime. But the mosquito.
Well, you may not hear about them where you live, but
let
me tell you something, friend. They are a real thing here.
I told you it's a real thing here. It's a big thing all over the world with malaria and everything like that. Hundreds of thousands of people die by the bite of a mosquito through the disease that they pose.
Yeah, they transmit diseases that they get from the other people they bite or stick or whatever you call it. And like down here, it's is it West Nile? I'm trying to think of
West Nile was one of them. There's
breakout every year.
There's 2 or 3 outbreaks that these things carry. They're a dangerous
Cephalitis. Yeah, it's really. That's something you should be worried about. And people are like, oh, it's no big deal. And it's like, well, you're a lot more likely to get killed that way than by a shark.
And and just think about it. You're still going outside. You still have the audacity to put your kid in Little League. You're still going out. You're probably taking the off or one of these other sprays. You're zipping yourself down. Your community's probably spraying, doing all that. But let me ask you a question. Have you stopped doing things? Absolutely not.
Nah.
Because if you were going to try to live your life hiding from the mosquito, good luck. Because I've gotten a mosquito bite in the basement of my house because the little turd gets in, it finds you, it zaps you wherever you are. So
when did y'all get mosquitoes in Lubbock? I don't really remember.
I'm going to tell you what, we've had them forever because it doesn't matter because they're so hardy. They lay their eggs and they can be dry where we are, but we're having rain today. And I guarantee you after today, it's about May, they'll hatch and they live in the flower beds. They're very healthy. We have convector sprayers who have to drive around. I seriously, and I'm not kidding, because I'm kind of allergic to them. I get the real whelps. If I don't cordon off, I can't go outside after dusk at our house because they are that strong. And really, and they've gotten where they've, what was it, malathion or something was really the drug, was really the stuff. There's something like that. There was a chemical that they've taken.
Oh, that actually worked.
That actually works that we can't use anymore, and we're all trying to find it. It's like ivermectin. If they'd give us the stuff that works, we wouldn't be sick and we wouldn't have this. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. Now this is good. We don't have any of these up here. You don't have any of these down there. Do you have crocodiles? Anything down there?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
they're all over the place down here.
Oh my God! Well, you got to get rid of them because how many people are dying from those things?
1,000 a year.
1,000 a year. 100,000 a year. That's Discovery Channel that is showed on that. That should be why do we not have Crocodile Week? Maybe they do. Do they have Crocodile Week
Yeah,
now?
haven't you ever seen, like, a lot of these videos come out of Florida because they obviously have more of them there than we have here, but, man, they'll come up onto the porch and snatch a kid off the porch. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
it's
not
not.
kidding around over
Yeah,
there.
that scares me a lot more than a shark. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I mean, I
Yeah, I
could
don't
just
like the idea of that.
no.
That
You just
does
go out
not.
there and get a cup of coffee, and then all of a sudden your leg's gone, or you just don't,
No, they
or you
wanna
don't come
drag you in
back.
the water and drown your ass.
But now we've got to get into the really killer thing, because this is the thing that most people don't understand, and you probably run into one or two of these every day. And that's, I think it's gonna be vending machines.
That's one you've got on there. It says 2 per year. I would put that in the shark bite area from a percentage, but
Two
how does a
Americans per
vending
year,
machine you get
twice
arms
as
stuck in it or something? I don't understand what's happening
that
there.
is
Or a
twice as many people die from vending machines as they do in sharks.
but from, like, the food they get out of it being poisonous or, like, what?
I don't know,
I
man.
don't
You can see
falls over
I'm
on
gonna
them.
tell you, I've seen some scary looking vending machines. They make some noises. I think the thing is that, like it's kind of like on those shows, and we've all had it, where like your food doesn't drop and it's hanging there, and you get so ticked off that you start shaking it, and then all of a sudden it
Oh, and it
goes
falls over on you.
falls over. I think it's a crushing death. And I think that would be horribly entertaining to watch somebody lose their mind and they get whacked by the vending machine. I don't
Pounded on a
want.
few myself when it didn't
How
drop my
else
Kit
can you
Kat.
die by what are you doing to the vending machine? It's got to be in proper use.
I'm
I
just
mean,
saying, if I go up there and I wanna buy a Kit Kat and it doesn't drop, I'm gonna be pissed,
no,
and I'm
no.
gonna start pounding on the glass like, "Give me my Kit Kat."
Well, and then I'm going to call you and go twice as many times as a shark. You might want to stop that. Actually, Risk Raiders is going to develop some bumper stickers that we can put on every vending machine. Beware, more dangerous than a shark.
Tip risk, fall
Now, these things, these other ones, I think they're kind of normal. I don't think they would surprise anybody. I mean, you got trampolines. Those are things that, we always, if you see those things on your
this is
homeowner's
really
policy, they address them on your homeowner's policy. They're dangerous things. I don't, I
Well,
think,
there's a reason that a lot of our carriers won't write a homeowner's policy if you've got a trampoline because people get hurt on them pretty frequently, and
yeah,
right here it says 1,000 people per year go to the ER, and
100,000, 100,000.
100,000 people a year go to the ER from some sort of an injury on a trampoline, so I'd say that's significant.
Yeah. And one fatality. And so they're about they kill like sharks, but then they maim a little bit more, apparently. But the
Well, and I
trampolines
think
just,
what insurance companies don't like too is that it tends to be a guest. Like your kids
yeah.
invite Johnny over from down the street who's never been on a trampoline before, and he springboards himself off onto the driveway and hurts himself,
Or you typically will try to use a trampoline as something else. They'll try to use them next to a pool.
You don't even start on that.
I've seen people try to bounce over a fence. I mean,
They'll jump off the roof onto the trampoline.
yeah, I
and
mean,
into the
they're
pool.
dangerous enough as they are, but then you tend to add some, hey, if we jump out of the tree onto the trampoline, how high will we go? And then I don't even want to talk about getting your inner thigh caught inside of one of those springs. That's enough to make you walk away from a trampoline forever. But yeah, people do that. Bee stings, I get that because
Oh, that's real.
bee stings are real, and that's the allergies and the things that go with that.
A lot of people are allergic to. In fact, a lot of people have to carry one of those EpiPens around with them.
Yeah.
Because if they get stung by a bee, they're going to die.
Yeah, at least you got to carry that EpiPen around. You got to do stuff like that.
You got to be careful.
But just at the same time, if you're not really that much allergic to it, leave the bees alone and you're going to be okay.
Yeah, don't be like Winnie the Pooh. Don't go stick your head in a beehive. I'm just saying.
I've always wanted to kind of be like Winnie the Pooh.
You kind of are,
I kind of feel like
I
that.
think.
It's one of my favorite rides at Disneyland.
Can you sing any of those songs? That's the $64 question.
No, because I'm not that way. I
You
just
can't sing like Down at Pooh Corner or something like that?
No, I'm every time I do, and if I ever say the word poo, then I go down a different road, and I can't do that because I'm not.
You're going a different place
The
after
baby
that comes
brain
up.
goes, did somebody say poo? And then it's like, bam, there I go, and I've left weenie. So no, we're gonna walk away from that. Let's look here at some other things.
This is my
This
thing.
is the real deal.
This is one of my actual I say this all the time. This is how you're gonna get
Yeah,
it,
this is how you're
is
gonna
a
get it.
fall.
Yeah. Stairs, floors, and landings. 2.7 million injuries per year. People just taking the tumble down the stairs, the walking off of the deck, the not paying attention stuff. I'm telling you, you got to know your limits, but you also got to, I mean, the stairs kill people. It just tells you.
I say it all the time. When you get past age 40, now when you're young, you can run up and down the stairs like a circus star. I mean, like what's the Circus Soleil? You're like a Circus Soleil guy when you're young. You can run up and down the stairs, you can slide down a banister, anything like that. But man, when you get over 40, you better be holding on to the handrail. Is all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
You got
Especially if you've had a beverage
Yeah, you've got to stop
or
and think
7.
on a lot of things when you turn 40 that you don't do. You
Yeah, you
just
gotta be
wait,
careful.
you hold it, or you hold a handle. Either way. Hey, this is the one I wanted you to address, okay? Because this is the one I really can't understand this, but this is right up your alley. So, can you please tell me how we're getting 923,000 injuries a year from beds, pillows, and mattresses? I'll sit and listen.
All I can think. And my mind's going wild now because I didn't see this one earlier, but I'm thinking, I guess it's the classic fall out of bed. I mean, you roll over to the edge too far and you fall. I don't know. Or I guess, are you doing something in the bed that's dangerous? I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this. A pillow. How does a pillow kill you? Oh, wait a minute. I know how. Because I've always thought that's how my wife was going to get me. She's going to like,
we'll call
I'm going to
Mike
put a
Lindell
pillow
at-
over your face.
We'll call Mike Lindell at My Pillow and go, okay, tell us the worst claims you've had.
Yeah. He's like, well, the wife said he wasn't breathing good, so I helped him with a pillow.
We have a new pillow today. It's called the Husband Killer.
Yeah.
But I love the source. It says the source comes from Hidden Dangers of Daily Life. That's something
does
we're
that
going to
even
need to click on. If I told my wife we got to get rid of all the pillows because they're killers.
It'd take y'all a year, literally. And let me just tell you something. This is one of my pet peeves. When I go to visit people, the wives always have like more pillows than I think is reasonable, especially in the guest room. I don't know why, but I'll go to stay at someone's house and like I'll go into the guest room and there'll be more pillows. Like there's like 72 pillows on the bed. Yours is the first house I've been to where the pillows actually went past the end of the bed.
Yeah.
Like they were not only covering the bed, but they were off the edge of the bed. And then when I went into the closet, there were more.
Well, and
just in case.
Here's the reason for that. Because we kind of know you. And after the evening of some of the other things, what you don't know is after you go to bed, we have a little elf that sneaks into your room and puts those pillows around
the edge
because
to
we
avoid
know
what we were talking about.
We know that if Brent
injury,
gets up after he
fall.
goes to bed, we're gonna need cushions between here and the
fall.
toilet. Yeah, might
fall. Right.
So it's kind of
I think you're right.
It's like the Arabian house. You know, when you'd see the Arabian movies, they had the pillows all over the floor. We're trying to do that to make people feel comfy. I'll tell Kelly to take those out of the house. I'll say, hey, Brent's offended by the pillows, even though 923,000 people get injured by them. He's not that guy.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe there's too many of them. That's why there's so many injuries.
Maybe
They're
so.
underfoot. I'm
Maybe
just
so.
suggesting that maybe there's a correlation. You know, that's all I'm saying.
I would like to go to that court hearing in the lawsuit where the pillow or the mattress attacked the plaintiff.
Yeah, we ought to look. That's probably
when
a thing.
I woke up, it was next to me.
And the pillow was on my face.
And
my wife was behind it.
It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
there was that.
That's just murder, people. It's not the pillow in the bedding. It's murder. Now,
not saying don't
seriously,
deserve
now
it,
this
but-
does not make sense. Okay, so you're telling me that bedding, mattresses, and those things are 923,000, but bath and shower fixtures is half of that at 42,000 injuries a year. You're telling me that the bed, the mattress, or the pillow is injuring more people than the shower or the bathtub?
Oh, that seems like a stretch, doesn't it?
Well, it makes me want to go back.
But everyone goes to bed every day. Everyone doesn't take a shower every day. Some should.
I think we need some more investigation about what's going on with the mattresses, the pillows, and the bed, because these stats are actually, I mean, People are falling in the showers or getting out of the showers like all the time. Wet, slippery. That should be worse. I'm laying in bed, a pillow, and I'm twice as much going to get hurt. I don't know about this.
Yeah, it seems odd.
So what we're going to ask for you and the audience is in the comment section, please help us resolve this issue. Why in the world would mattresses, what was it? Mattresses, bedding, and let's see.
Pillows and
Pillows, beds,
mattresses
and
and
mattresses.
beds.
Why are we getting twice
Yeah,
as
what are
many
we missing
injuries
here?
as showers? And I'm interested to hear from our viewers as to what the heck is going on.
Of course, does it include, like, you remember that movie back in the 70s where Farrah Fawcett set the guy on fire in the bed?
The burning
What
bed
was that?
thing?
Yeah, that maybe that's included in this statistic because that may be something.
I just don't know. I really don't hear that happening that much, but maybe I'm just not reading the news close enough.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
maybe you're not
happening
looking.
so much. It's like, hey, another guy was
Doesn't
lit up
even
in
make
fl-
the news.
Yeah.
Yeah, so common.
Ted went to bed, and of course, the flames burst in and killed him again. Next on
I
the
don't know.
news. I don't know. That's crazy. I think we've learned something here today. I think we've learned
we have
one,
too.
that you better go to sleep with one eye open. This is probably where your biggest threat is. And then if you're going to run from that threat, be careful when you go down the stairs. That will be your next threat.
All right, hold the handrail.
And then if you fall out the front door and if there's a gator, you might be screwed on that one.
Yeah.
But the safest place basically to go, ladies and gentlemen, is the water.
Yeah, because that one in American a year, I'd take that odd.
And so we're about to get the worst hate mail comments from all the shark people,
the surfers.
And I don't send me the picture of you missing your arm and stuff. I know it happens. We're not saying it doesn't happen, but the shark people are a little keyed up on that. But I'm going to tell you, I have a better chance of getting injured almost anywhere else.
Yeah, no question about it.
The worst thing that I can have, stepping on the damn coral hurts worse than anything.
Yeah, I've definitely stepped on
you don't want to do
stuff in the water that hurt.
I feel good
like
about today.
Jellyfish or something like that. But
so I'm hoping that all of our viewers today, you feel better. You're sitting at your desk and you realize, you know what? If I can stay away from the cows, the horses, maybe get a sleeping bag, how much is your chance I'm going to make it till tomorrow?
You're going to be all right.
You're going to make it till tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about we're almost out of time. Let's talk about our Red Raiders real quick. So I thought we've had the most curious story this week about our quarterback that we brought in.
Yeah.
The kids having to check himself into rehab for a gambling addiction. And at first I thought, oh, this is not a big thing. And then I saw the numbers. The guy was taking lots and lots.
It's
lots of bets.
On
and
the
I was
personal
shocked.
side, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal, and I think
I feel for the kid. I feel for.
I do too.
Any addiction like that is
yeah, it's bad. And then I think young people need to be careful about that because it's probably easy to fall down that slope.
Right.
You think, oh, I'll open an account. You start betting on a few things, and all of a sudden you win a few. The worst thing that can happen to you is win a few.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like I always say, the worst thing that can happen to a guy is go to Las Vegas and win.
Well, then with gambling, too, it was one of those things that it really didn't approach your door very much until you had to go to it. You had to seek it out either legally in Las Vegas or illegally. And it's kind of a new thing, I think, still to where it's one of these things that's now much more approachable, more legal in certain areas. That we're learning that it's just like other things, that some people can handle it in moderation, but it's going to be apparently one of those things I've always talked about that can get way out of hand.
Because you can do it in privacy of your home. So you can sit at your computer all night long and do it. And so you don't, like you say, you don't have to go somewhere. You don't have to go out of state or go out of town. You can do it at home. And that's accessible.
And that's relatively new. So people are getting exposed to something that they may or may not know that they can control or not. And I think it would be, I feel for the kid. People are gonna look at these things. If you're the football fan guy or gal, and it's about NIL, and you think it's all about money, well, you can argue that later on. But first, you'll have to tell me how much you donated. After that, though, the second part of it is this is an individual who's now in the spotlight, who is now having to deal with an issue, who is now maybe not going to get to do the thing that he's been trying and wanted to do. I mean, I don't know how this responds
I
in the
don't know how
long
it
run.
plays out, but it's a tough situation
But
for
and
the
he's
kid.
not gonna be the only guy who has this problem. The
Absolutely
history
not.
of sports, you're starting to see this coming up more in all different sports, just because of the openness now of gambling and getting into more,
Oh,
public
look at
and
the thing they had. It got kind of buried, but they had a big scandal in the NBA last year about
yeah,
it.
it was a big
So
deal, and so
it's a thing.
it's a thing. I do feel sorry for the university as a whole, and I know that Cincinnati and this kid, they have all this bad blood, and I don't really know much about that, but
Yeah,
from
I
our
don't either.
university standpoint, really had nothing to do with it. From what I can tell, it's kind of one of those things they're going to have to deal with this situation that they didn't know at the
Right?
time.
They didn't know that existed,
Yeah, and
and
that
I don't know
could
how you check on that. How would you know?
I don't either. And some people were talking about that allegedly there's supposed to be things in checks with these gambling things and with phones with these athletes. And I don't know anything about that. It'd be very interesting. There were supposed to be some checks and balances that they can check on that with what I heard a guy talking about. I don't know if that's true or not, but and I don't know how you wrangle that anyway. It's just kind of like with any other addiction. It's almost like if it's an addiction, you find a way. And I don't know. It's just bad. It's bad for everybody. It's bad for their universities. It's bad for of course, the kid who's doing it. I don't like the story, and I don't like some of the crap I've heard people talking about it because this is a person, and the person that hurts really is himself. And you got to think about you got them first. But
I think that this is collateral damage from bringing money into the game that wasn't there
well,
before, and I think it's just an unfortunate reality that gambling and things like that are come along with this UIL money, and I think it's an unfortunate thing, and
yeah,
they'll have to
I
figure
think
it
the
out.
shame's going to be is if you find out that somebody somewhere knew about this before and they all sat on it, why it behooved them financially or whatever sports wise,
Right.
and no one tried to get. They found out about it and no one tried to get the kid help. But they
Yeah, they just
used.
let it
Yeah,
go.
they let it go as long as it benefited whatever. That's going to be a sad part of a story if that's true. I don't know if that's true or not because this is still pretty new. I don't know a lot of facts about it. But right now, my concerns with the student athlete, and well, you just hope, and of course with the coaches now. I mean, Tech has to redo some new plans, and but that's kind of life too, right? Every business we get thrown some nuggets that we all go, "What's going on?"
Yeah, you're not ready for
No,
them, and
they'll
you got
figure it
you got to
out,
deal
and
with it. And I think as we go through time, hopefully they'll come up with some ways to manage these kids and help them. We don't want
yeah,
these kids to get jammed up.
no, you don't want anybody to go through that.
And I'm glad they're getting paid. I never liked the idea that schools made all the money and these kids got hurt and went home and had to sell used cars or something, or had to sell insurance.
That's what happened to us.
Yeah,
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 I was a punter and I didn't make it, and now I'm
yeah,
in insurance.
yeah. Now I'm an insurance guy. That's not what happened to us, but
No,
it
not at
could.
all.
It could have. Could have.
No, no, I had the
Well,
speed of
all right,
smell.
man. This has been good though. I think we learned some things today about sharks and cows
That's
and
right.
alligators.
Alligators, stairs, and the dreaded bedroom,
The pillow, the dangers of pillows.
the mattress. They mentioned the mattress, which I thought was interesting.
That might be another fall on you thing like the vending machine. I don't know.
I don't know.
Trying to take one down the stairs. I don't know.
I'm gonna watch the comment section and see if we get straightened out. But anyway, hey,
Right.
we've got a great guest on next week. So,
Absolutely.
oh, and if you're this show is as you could tell, it's going to be posted now on Tuesday morning. So welcome everybody to Tuesday morning, and make sure you follow us on LinkedIn. We have a new announcement. Risk Raiders is on.
Whatever that means.
I don't know. I was on there and I was like, what the? So we might be on TikTok. Please let us know on comments if you can find us on TikTok.
No.
Somebody said we're on TikTok now, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure it out. And on
Whatever that
Instagram.
means.
Yeah, we're on Instagram, but TikTok, let us know if you find it.
Yeah.
I mean, we would like to know.
All right. Well,
All right, brother, I
everybody
enjoyed
have a
it today.
Yeah, it was fun, and I will see everyone next week.
All right.
Everyone, remember, keep your guns up
Right there.
and right there.
Right,
And
right. It's
we
right
will
there.
see everyone soon. Be safe.
Take care.